Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to take you to Mt Fuji in Japan. We recently got back from our trip from Japan probably 2 months ago now, and I'm finally getting around to editing all my Mt Fuji footage. It was just incredible. I cannot describe how beautiful it was there. If Mt Fuji is not on your bucket list, then you should definitely put it on there because it is so worth seeing. We stayed right near on the lake Kawaguchi, and we got so lucky with the weather, which was absolutely beautiful. So come with me and I'll show you how amazing Mt Fuji is and why you need to see it for yourself. So we caught the bus from Tokyo to Lake Kawaguchi, which cost 20 Australian dollars for a one-way fare, which is actually cheaper than the train. Transport is not cheap in Japan, especially the bullet train, which we were to find out about when heading to Kyoto. The bus ride took about an hour and 45 minutes and we could see Mt Fuji from the window of the bus. It was absolutely stunning. The bus dropped us off at Kawaguchiko station, which is right in town, and the town is pretty small. I saw the famous Lawson's that looks like Mt Fuji is sitting on top of it that everyone wants to get a photo of. The people of Kawaguchi have now put up a big barrier to stop this, as they are sick of tourists standing on the road trying to get their selfies and stopping the traffic. We stayed at 01 Resort Club. It was absolutely awesome. It was a 3-bedroom villa with views of Mt Fuji. We could do our washing and it had a full kitchen, so we got meals from 7-Eleven as we could heat them up in the microwave and oven. 7-Eleven was right near our accommodation, which was great. After dropping off our bags, we rented some bikes for $70 for 2.5 days and rode down to the lake for sunset. Mount Fuji was visible for sunset, but there wasn't much colour in the sky, unfortunately. Then we headed back to our accommodation and we had chicken katsu from 7-Eleven for dinner that night, which was pretty damn good, and a custard and whipped cream bun. It was absolutely delicious. I am so impressed with 7-Eleven food here in Japan. It's nowhere near this good in Australia, and it is so cheap. The next morning it was cloudy and overcast when we woke up and we couldn't see Mount Fuji at all, so we had our 7-Eleven breakfast and relaxed for the first time since landing in Tokyo a week ago. If you haven't seen our Tokyo video, I will link it above. By about 1 PM the cloud had cleared, so we rode our bikes to Honsho Street to get the insta-famous shot of Mount Fuji that you can see right down the end of Honsho Street. There were views of Mount Fuji everywhere along the way, and I found some cherry blossom trees flowering, which I was very excited about. Once we reached Honsho Street, there were tourists everywhere and cars beeping at them to get off the road. We grabbed a few photos in between cars, which took a bit of time as it's a really busy street, but the view is pretty cool. Then we rode to Arakura Sengen Park, which was not far from Honsho Street, maybe a 10-minute ride. Parked our bikes and climbed the 400 stairs to see Chirito Pagoda. The climb wasn't that bad, it probably took about 15 minutes, and there were awesome views everywhere along the way. Once we reached the top, there was a massive lineup to get to the viewing platform to see Chirito Pagoda. Luckily, I had a packet of grape Mentos with me, which are my favourite, and you can't buy these in Australia. It said the wait was going to be an hour, but the line actually moved pretty quickly. It would have been nice to be here at sunset, but I've heard the line is even crazier then. It was a pretty nice view, but unfortunately, we were too early for the cherry blossom tree to be flowering. I'll just have to come back again. The Chirito Pagoda was built in 1966 as a memorial to those who lost their lives in the Second World War. It is part of the Arakurayama Sengen Shrine, which is dedicated to the Shinto goddess Fuji no Kami, the deity of Mount Fuji. The pagoda was constructed as a 5-story structure in the traditional Japanese style. The primary purpose of the pagoda was not only as a place of worship, but also as a symbol of peace, commemorating the fallen soldiers from the war. At the bottom of the park, there are lots of food vendors and an ice cream shop, so of course we chose that option. After this, we rode back to Kawaguchi, which took about 20 minutes, and got a tuna and mayo sandwich from 7-Eleven, which are the absolute best. Then it was almost time for sunset, so we rode all the way around the lake and we stumbled across a tiny little cherry blossom tree that had a view of Mount Fuji behind it. So I stayed here for a while and took some photos as the sun went down. We got a tiny bit of colour in the sky, which was nice. It was just a beautiful location, a beautiful afternoon, and we had fun riding our bikes around. There was also a wedding down by the lake too. I don't know how the bride was not freezing to death, but it looked beautiful. It was a beautiful spot to have photos taken. That was our last morning in Lake Kawaguchi. Just a tip, if you are heading to Kyoto from here, make sure you book the train out of here well in advance. We left it to the second last day and every train out was absolutely booked out, so we had to catch the bus, and with luggage it was an absolute nightmare because there were only local buses to catch, and everyone that missed the train like we did was trying to get on those buses too. It took us a whole day and many different buses and trains just to get to Kyoto. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and you can check out all the fun stuff we got up to in Tokyo here.